They're talking brackets, y'all. We love those brackets, y'all. Brackets, y'all, not just for March, and they're not all played on courts of large. Join March Chadness on the microphone with the best darn show in your time zone. Weekly discussion about college hoops, and is the best episode of Seinfeld the Moops. They talk Cinderella's, what's the best umbrella, and is the greatest cheese provolone or mozzarella. Basketball has always been their thing, but a cereal draft so satisfying. Will a 5 seed get upset by Yale? Can any TV theme song beat DuckTales? ESPN is Bracketology, but can they debate Weird Al's discography? From the Mountain West to the ACC, and which team's the best at shooting threes? March Chadness as your bracket buster, and the best nickname for Bert and Guster. They'll bring the madness all year long, and this concludes our pod theme song. Brackets, y'all. We love those brackets, y'all. They're talking brackets, y'all. We love those brackets, y'all.
Hey, welcome in episode 12, March Chadness. We finally got our theme song on there. Nate, what do you think of the theme song?
I'm loving it.
It is good. Some people may say it's a little long for a theme song. I say it is perfect for this show. You just got to go back and listen to it. There's so many great lines in that. You're welcome. I was the one that came up with the lyrics for it. And then
Thank you.
Just threw it into a Suno and just worked with it until it was like, okay, I like the tune of this. So I'm excited because I'm starting to learn stuff here, how to do stuff in the studio. We're going to be going live here soon. I think we're going to try a practice one, or I may just practice it on some of my other shows and then go live with the Weird Al one coming up. I know I'm pretty sure we'll have a third for that show. We could have 4 because I asked 2 people and they both said yes. So that'll just throw things off, but we'll have one for sure. So that is exciting. So, hey, welcome in Chad Rink, Nate Rink. Thanks for listening wherever you're listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to Fanstream Sports Ohio. Go check out Fanstream Sports at fanstreamsports.com. Leave a comment. We are going to be talking board games today. The bracket theme today, board games. So I'm excited about that because it's kind of cool putting it together, looking at some of the stuff. And I think this is going to be an interesting one where we could finally have a real underdog maybe win this one. Look at the bracket, Nate. Without giving anything away, what are your kind of thoughts of the teams, if you will, the field?
I'm loving all these. I think we could have some upsets here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All great games.
They are. There's not any here, and I think I have played all of them but one, and we'll talk about that one. Which that's why if we had our other brother on here, he would have had a whole lot to say about this game. But we'll get to that later here. We're going to talk college hoops. So this past week there were some good games on. First of all, I see the sweatshirt you are wearing and the Bobby Knight clock in the background. Indiana.
It's a commemorative plate.
Oh, it's a plate. There you go. You could turn it into a clock if you want.
Yes.
So big win for Indiana against Purdue. Always good to beat them, especially to beat them when they are a top-ranked team. We looked good. We hit the threes. We really kind of kept their big men, for the most part, in check. So I was happy with that. And then, another win that we got.
Double overtime win against Mick Cronin's UCLA last night.
There you go. That's another solid win. So Cincinnati and Indiana beating the Bruins. So very nice for the Hoosiers. We will talk a little bit on Lunardi's bracketology. He's kind of got right now. He goes through that almost for the most of the part of the year from now on. He updates it probably every week, like where teams are. So we'll kind of break down where it sits right now. But we do want to talk about Michigan. Michigan had 2 big wins this week. That Michigan-Nebraska game was good. It was really the first time I got to watch Nebraska. I know you were watching that game too because your one son is a Michigan fan. So
He's a Michigan fan when I don't know how it happened.
Who knows? So I got a Kentucky fan at the house, so it is what it is. So what were you?
You try to raise them the best you can.
You can. I'm just glad they like sports. So, what was your thought on watching Nebraska play?
Even though they lost, they still actually look legit. We'll see, because they play Illinois today.
Yes.
So we'll see now that they're playing some real ranked teams if we're legit 20-0 or whatever it was. But they still look good. That was a good game. It was a fun game to watch. It was a close game. So they might actually be for real. We shall see.
Yeah, I was, because they had the lead for a little bit, and then Michigan kind of really kept them off for second shots, and then really clamped down the defense. I didn't realize that Nebraska got a 7-footer. They look pretty good. They play some pretty good defense. So I'm interested in this game tonight. I did take the under on that. This is not a betting show, but I did take the under. I think Nebraska's D is going to be pretty good. They're at home, but I'm interested to see how Illinois looks on that. And then Michigan, again, they got up big at halftime on Michigan State. And Michigan State came back, made it close, but then it was still like a double-digit win. It was so hard once you get down that much at halftime, it takes a lot out of a team to make that comeback. And especially then if you can't get that lead, you can't get timely timeouts or whatever like that. It's just, you could get wore out. So Michigan has a couple big wins. We'll see where that puts them on Lunardi's bracketology, which is what we'll dive into here. So it's always interesting to see, because I like to get ahead of the game, because I don't know if you followed Lunardi's bracketology over the past however long. I know it's been at least a decade, I think, that he's been doing this. And then during the tournament, when the official bracket is up, he does a nice job of going over every single game in that first round, gives his insight on it and his picks. So I like Lunardi, but it's interesting to see kind of where things fall, because he's usually pretty accurate, pretty close with a lot of this stuff. So I'm just gonna leave us on, but I'm gonna pull it up on my end, because it's kind of clunky right now, because it's not in the actual bracket form, because it just updated on the 30th. So number 1 overall seed. You want to take a guess who he has as the number 1 overall seed?
I have it pulled up, so I'd be cheating.
There you go. It is Arizona, and it should be. They're undefeated. They've pretty much been top seed for a while. So they're the number 1 overall seed. The other number ones are Duke, Michigan, and then UConn round out the top 4. I have no problem with that at all. What do you say about the 4 number 1 seeds? That's for right now. I think you got it right.
I think 2 of them were my picks and 2 of them were your picks. So
that is correct. Yes, Duke, UConn are mine. Michigan and Arizona are yours. So Arizona, I meant, yeah. So that should just show that we know ball. We've been talking about that.
That's great.
And then you look at the number 2 seed. You've got Michigan State, which is another one of your picks. Illinois, which is kind of a surprise, I think, being as good as they've been this year. And then you have Iowa State, and then nobody had Nebraska at the 2. So I think it's accurate with these 2 seeds. I'm telling you right now, if this is the way it is, I think a lot of people are going to be having Nebraska not make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I agree. And especially, we'll see how today's game goes. But yeah, I mean, them and Iowa State are going to be the easy ones that everybody's going to pick to falter, because nobody expected them to be there. But you never can tell. You can't. And
Illinois may be one too. It just depends. We still got a lot of basketball left, but those are the 2 seeds. So we've got 3? We have 4 Big Ten teams. Half of the top 2 seeds are from the Big Ten. And going down, he does have 11 Big Ten teams making the tournament, and then 10 SEC, followed by 8 ACC, and then 7 Big 12. So that rounds it out. So let's go. Like the 3-4s are always interesting too. He's got Gonzaga. He has Florida as a 3, which is I find interesting, and we can talk about that here. And then he's got Purdue, Houston. I can see both Purdue and Houston probably taking a 2 seed from somebody. I really don't. I don't see Florida sticking around as a 3 seed unless they start winning some of these games when they're playing, because I believe they have 7 losses already, and they do have. I think they have like the 3rd toughest schedule, but you do have to win games. That would be crazy if a Florida team with 8 losses or so was a 3 seed.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
No, I mean, because they're in the middle of the SEC conference play right now too. So it's going to be tough for them. And then if you look at the 4 seeds, Kansas, Texas Tech, I believe Kansas playing tonight also, or they're playing right now. And then BYU, Vanderbilt, which those are 2 surprise ones. Vandy, I don't know. I haven't watched any of Vanderbilt play. We're going to have next week, we're going to have Jacob Reimer back on, scheduled to do that interview early this coming week. So I will probably talk to him about Vanderbilt. BYU does look legit. I don't know if they can hang on to the 4, but if it's Vanderbilt, BYU, and then it's Kansas and who was the other one that I said? What was the other one?
Kansas does not play today. Kansas State lost to Iowa State. Purdue beat Maryland by 30, and Florida beat Alabama by like 23.
Okay, Florida beat okay. So maybe that's it. Yeah, there's Texas Tech was the other one. So I can see that there. So those are the 4. This is one where I'm gonna leave. If this kind of holds true, I will probably have 2 number 1 seeds picked in the final 4 this year, and then it's just all obviously going to be matchups. So looking at this, so he has the first 4 out as Virginia Tech, Seton Hall, Santa Clara, TCU. I don't know enough about them for that to be true. I know Indiana is one of the last 4 in with New Mexico, USC, and Texas. So I think Indiana needs to have a good showing the rest of the year in conference play. And I think they probably would need to win at least 1, maybe 2 games, because I think he has them right now as the play-in game 11 seed against Texas. Yeah. So another interesting 11 team is Miami of Ohio. They are undefeated. He has them as an 11, but mostly because their strength of schedule is not great.
351st is still, it's in the top 400.
It's in the top 400, yes. An interesting team, because I know Reimer had talked about them the last time he was on. St. Louis is a 7 seed. I think that's a team, if they get a 5, 6, or 7, could be a sneaky Sweet 16 team, just depending on the matchup, especially if they're a 7 seed and they end up getting like a Nebraska or an Illinois or somebody in that 2 spot, like even a Purdue, and maybe, or even a team that maybe can't defend the 3 that well, because I know they are the 3rd best team in the country at 3-point percentage. So just a quick look at that. If you want to check it out, you can go to the ESPN website. Just go to Bracketology. I always enjoy that just to kind of see where he has people. Because like I said, as it gets closer, like that leading up to the conference tournament play, he's pretty good. And then obviously as teams win, lose, those kinds of things, people move out. If you had a team like whoever's the top in the Southland Conference, I can't remember who it is, if it was McNeese State or something, but Incarnate Word, if they would end up winning, they would get in.
I'm pulling for them.
I am too. They have been a little bit disappointing this year. So that's that. Like I said, Reimer will be on next week. So if you have any questions you want me to ask Reimer, put them in the comments, and then I can ask him. But we'll talk about some of these teams like Vanderbilt. And I think maybe I'll pull a couple conferences out that will maybe like, hey, can they get more than 1? And just kind of see like some sleeper teams as we're getting into the tournament for that. So that is our NCAA talk. We will now go into the bracket talk. We normally have a commercial here. We're just going to go with the switch over with the title screen. This would be a great place for Eggo if they were a sponsor for us to talk about Eggo and our waffle play of the week when we get to it. But they're not yet. So I'm still looking into it yet. We will get Eggo. If it's the last thing we do, we will get Eggo. So if you were just here for the NCAA and didn't want to listen to the bracket talk, I mean, I think you're crazy, because I think that's the most entertaining part of this. But that was the college hoops. Now let's go to our bracket of board games. You ready to talk brackets, Nate?
I was born ready to talk brackets.
All right.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream. fanstreamsports.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream.
All right, we are here. It is time for the bracket. I'm going to pull it up here real quick. We will go over this first. We'll just go each section. Do it here. We got 32. I thought it was going to be 16, but I was like, as I got into it, I was like, man, there's a lot of good games. So a lot of these are going to be like older games, not some of these, not newer games, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So we have number one overall seed, which is controversial, Monopoly, going up against Trouble. We have the 8-9 Mastermind Othello, so two Smarty games. We have Sorry and Crossfire, and then Stratego and Scrabble rounding out that first section of games. So what are your thoughts on, first off, Monopoly and being the number one overall seed?
I think if you were, on a game show and, if you were on Family Feud and you're up there and you had to hit the buzzer and you're like, name a board game, Monopoly is going to be the first one probably out of anybody's mouth, and it'll probably be the number one. So I think it has to be the number one seed, although I'm willing to bet 60 to 80% of the country doesn't play it the proper way.
No, everyone has their little house rules. Because if you read the rules and stuff, like I don't think, because I saw someone talking about Monopoly where you should just buy houses. Because I don't think you're supposed to, like, once the houses are gone, that's it. Like you can't have other houses. So the thing is, you should never buy hotels. You just buy 4 houses everywhere, and then no one else can get 4 houses. So and it's funny because you and I didn't really talk about what we're going to say about these. We never really talk about what we are going to say about some of these games, just because we want to have the
save it for the podcast.
Yeah, save it for the podcast. You mentioned that because I had the same thought. Like if it was Family Feud, because Monopoly, that's going to be the first answer. And my thing was like, if you were in a dead sleep and someone woke you up and said, "Quick, name a board game," it's going to be Monopoly probably 92% of the time.
It's not going to be Othello.
It's not. It is not going to be Othello. You might get a Twister. Hashtag spoiler for the Weird Al song bracket. Those who know. If you know, you know. So it's the number one overall seed. Trouble. Here's the thing about Trouble. Trouble is fine. I think the reason Trouble made it because it had the bubble dice, which was the popper dice. I always enjoyed that. It was the craps. I played bubble craps when Dave and I went to Vegas a few years ago because I was a little chicken to go at an actual table, because if there were people there, I've never been there. I didn't want to be that guy that didn't know the rules. I'm like betting, and I was just so used to doing it online. So I just did the bubble craps with the bubble thing. Ended up, winning $200 for the week. So it worked out. Nice. I'm a bubble craps guy, but that was the most fun. I remember when that came out because we'll never lose the dice. But Trouble was it's just a meh game. I think Monopoly wins this one. I don't think people are really. I don't think there's like Trouble game nights at people's houses.
Trouble's a great introduction board game when you got younger kids. It moves quick. It's very simple. You can't lose the dice, but Exactly. It's not beating Monopoly.
It's not. No. All right. This was a good one because I enjoy both these games very much because they're, like I said, they're more smarty games. And me saying smarty shows you that I'm not very smart. But it really, you get you thinking. If you're not familiar, Mastermind is the game where you got the little pegs and the one person does the code of the colored pegs and the other person tries to guess, and then you do a line of the pegs. I had to say pegs. If you do a line, that's something totally different game.
Not a line of cocaine.
Look at that callback to episode 2. So if you're like, you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch episode 2 with Schwarzenegger quotes. So and then the person that did the code would tell you how many pegs you had right in the right spot, how many pegs you had right in the wrong spot, and then you just try to go and figure it out. It's a fun game. We played it growing up. Dad, one of the last things he did, he bought all of his Mastermind games.
Right there.
There it is right there. It's behind you. Emily and I play it all the time, although she just likes to be the code maker. She doesn't like to guess. And then she gets back because I almost always guess it within the first 5 or 6. Because I found a cheat with that.
You're a seasoned vet.
The cheat with that is my first one is always just going to be 2 colors, and I'm just going to put 2 colors next to each other, because if it's 0, then you eliminate 2 of the 6 colors, and then you're really doing well. So that's the cheat code there. And I do like Othello because it takes a minute to learn, but a lifetime to master, as it's the tagline on the box. So
kind of like craps.
Kind of like craps, yes. So, but Othello's the one, they got the black and white checkers. And then it's one of those where if you surround one or a number of the other players' colors, you flip them all over, and then the board gets filled, and then whoever has the most colored wins. It's kind of that one's very more strategic than Mastermind, because you got to really kind of figure out, do I want to do here and that? So I like them both. I just prefer Mastermind more. It's a quicker game. It's just more fun, I think, in Othello. And Othello is one of those games where you kind of have to have people with the same, level of, I don't want to say intelligence, but like you really can't play Othello with a 5-year-old very well, unless it's a very advanced 5-year-old. Or Mastermind, they could do the colors, and they have fun doing the colors. You try to guess. So,
yeah, I don't think I've ever taken the time to actually properly learn Othello. So Mastermind's getting the win for me.
Yep. Yeah, we have Othello. We have both at our house. So. I think we have all 4 at our house so far. So sorry, Crossfire. We added Crossfire on because you said, hey, let's add Crossfire on. And then I thought, I think I remember what it is. And I had to look it up. Like, yes, that's exactly what it was. Talk about, because everyone pretty much knows Sorry. Talk about what Crossfire is and how you play.
So you've got a little gun that shoots out the little BBs, the little tiny metal balls. And there's things on there that you try to get on the other guy's side before they get them on your side. So you're constantly filling it up. It is super stressful, but super fun, because you'll get one close to the other guy's edge, and then you'll run out. You got to reload, and then it's coming back. And I just always thought it was fun. It's a stressful fun, but it is super fun. And as far as Sorry goes, we don't play it in the rink house much anymore, because my wife is a sore loser, and when you bump her, she tends to throw pieces at you. So I'm sorry. Yeah, so Sorry is a fun game. Like, so your wife's kind of like having a 7-year-old, because I'll play Sorry and she'll get mad if I bump her like all the time, and just gloat when gloat when they bump you.
And then it's like sometimes like, okay, I can make this move and bump her out, but I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to move this guy way over here and not have to deal with it
without doing this.
Exactly. So I'm going Sorry here. I just think I don't even know if you can you can buy Crossfire still, because I had to look it up, and you can buy it on Amazon.
It's hard to find, though. I've looked anytime we go to Target or Walmart and can't find it. So
I think it's when you got to just get online. I don't think you can buy it in an actual brick and mortar. So you with me? Sorry though. I always liked Sorry. I thought Sorry was fun. It's a quick game. It's one of those games you really don't have to like learn a lot before you could just jump into Sorry, and it's pretty simple because the cards tell you what to do.
We're going with games that are more well known, and that then we're going Sorry. But personally, I prefer Crossfire over Sorry. So
I gotcha.
I don't know how you want to attack that, but I'm going to go Crossfire over Sorry, just to get an upset going in there. See if anybody agrees.
I don't know if anyone else knows what Crossfire is. I had thought about doing, and I totally forgot to pull it up here. I was thinking about it when I was thinking about it today at church. Actually, it was in Sunday school. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool if like we had like some sort of like dice or like a spin, like we would do the dice thing where like we each throw a die, and then that would decide the tie is by a board game type thing. But I don't think I could pull that up here, and then I'm too far away, I think, for my dice thing. So I think I'm going to take Sorry, just because I know there's a dice app you can do, and I should have been prepared for this.
I've got some dice in my Chicago Blackhawks Yahtzee behind me. If you roll a die.
Well, it'd be one to say like you had one and I had one. I think I'm gonna go Sorry, because I think no matter who we text on this one, it's pretty much gonna be Sorry. I don't think anyone's gonna know Crossfire. I may be wrong on that. So I'm gonna take Sorry here, and then we'll go to the Stratego and Scrabble, and then I have an idea for how we figure this out, and then I will tell you here after this one. So Stratego, Scrabble. I always loved Stratego. I remember when we first got Stratego, the original blue and the red with the generals and stuff. And then they added, we have a Star Wars one, which adds some extra little features you can do, like you have vision, or you can like, it's pretty cool having the different characters have it. And then Scrabble is always great. My grandma Wellesley used to always play Scrabble. It just like Scrabble is such a long game. And then it just kind of like, I think you have to love word games a lot to go play Scrabble. And I know that they have tournament stuff, but I'm taking Stratego all day, every day on this one.
I am too, because I think Scrabble got better when they made it upwards.
Exactly.
Back on top. Yeah, I'm going Stratego.
Yeah, I thought about doing upwards, but then I did not. All right, let's head to the next region. All right, so we're going to go to the next section here, and it is the rest of the top bracket here. I had it up already. Okay. Candyland against Taboo, Balderdash, Operation, Apples to Apples Chess, Yahtzee, Settlers of Catan. And I know there are some people that would say Settlers of Catan highly underrated as a 15 seed. And if you think that, you are probably homeschooled.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know what it is. I thought,
Okay.
I thought it was Cones of Dunshire.
Cones of Dunshire is probably a better game than Settlers. That's the only game I have not played. Did you get a copy? Like Jason, like our brother Jason loves this game. They play it all the time. And then he bought us a copy. I think he bought you guys a copy too. I don't know. It was like probably at Christmas 10 years ago or something. I have a copy just because Nate or Jason bought it for us. And then it was not even out of the wrapping for probably the first 8 years. And then a couple years ago, I got it out, was putting together. I was like, this could be kind of fun. And then it was just like, I was done after getting it all together and like looking at like your little farmer and stuff. So it does remind me of Cones of Dunshire all the time from Parks and Rec, just the way the game is with the characters and stuff. So that may be the only game I think on here that I have not played. So Candyland and Taboo. Taboo's an older one. It's one of those games where you get a word, you try to get your partner or your team to guess that word, but you have like 5 words that you cannot say to describe that word. So if that's if you were, I don't know what,
basically like the game show password.
Is it the game show password is the best thing for it? Yeah. So that was Taboo. Candyland. I think Candyland is probably the game on here that every single person in the entire world has played, because I think everybody, once they have a kid, they play Candyland. So Taboo, Candyland. What you doing?
I'm gonna go Candyland. Taboo is more adult. Probably, kids can play it too, but every kid loves to play Candyland. Name a kid that hasn't played Candyland.
Right.
And there's nothing more demoralizing than getting close to the end and then pulling that ice cream cone card and going right back to the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. And Candyland's such a great game because that's like you just open it up and you just go. You don't even have to really know the rules because it's just you just move for the cards. And that is the worst. That's another one that Emily she gets that close and then goes to the back. And then we did something too, where it's like, I think the one time like I won and she was mad. And then I said, well, how about if I get here, then you have to pick a color and then you go into King Candy's castle once you get the color. So if you get to the end, you still have to get the color. And she liked that. So we play that all the time now too. Like you win, but you didn't quite win yet. But once you get to that last spot, you don't ever
move back.
Yeah, you just go. Yeah. So it's fun. It's good game. Balderdash Operation. Operation. Everyone knows that game. It's probably the second of the 3 like most frantic, pressured games. Crossfire's 1. This one is probably 2, and there's another one coming up that it's the most like anxiety driven game. I hated Operation. I just never liked it. And then I heard somebody say if Operation was in the Toy Story world, would like he be getting like his bones taken out all the time? How would that work? And I don't know if
they
people
never addressed that.
No, and I don't know how many people actually know Balderdash, because I don't know. Like, I mean, it was big for a minute. I love Balderdash. That was one of Dad's favorite games. Yeah, it's just basically a bluffing game. You basically go around. One person knows the definition. They write. Do they write the fake definition or the real definition?
There's the guy who has the card and he reads what it is, and then everybody puts the definitions, like whatever they think it means in.
I got
and then you read it off, and everybody picks which one they think is, and whoever gets the most picks wins that round. And
that's right. So the real definition is never in it, because if you're the card guy, because it just goes around, different person picks the card, and you don't actually go in.
I think the definition is read along with what everybody else puts in. The key to what I always did, the cheat code on this one was, I have a good enough memory where the last time I read, I would pick the shortest definition on on the card on there, and then use it when it came around. Verbatim. So it sounded like, oh, that's probably the definition. That sounds like it.
There you go.
It was the cheat code on Balderdash.
Right. Yeah. Because there's the temptation to try to just be funny, but then you're never going to get the answer. So it's kind of it's a fun game. I kind of like Balderdash over Operation.
I do too. I never had the steady enough hand for Operation.
I'm so bad at Operation. It's crazy. So we have one that's like something unicorn. It's a unicorn Operation game, and we actually played it this morning before church because Emily loves to play games all the time, and then she gets mad when I actually have to go in the office and work. And she's like, oh, she gets all sad. I'm like, I am literally like in the next room, except on Wednesdays and Thursdays when I got to go into the office. So this is gonna be a good one. Like, you got Apples to Apples and chess. I haven't played Apples to Apples in a while, but I remember I really liked Apples to Apples. And then chess is one of those two where you have to have two players of pretty equal skill level for it to really be fun.
Yeah, chess is only fun if you have somebody that knows how to play chess pretty well. Like, it's one of those things where you get excited. It's like, oh, you know how to play chess? You know, there was a buddy of mine back in our 20s when we'd be going out, hitting the bars and stuff. And anytime we'd be at his house, we'd make a couple moves, and then I wouldn't be there for a couple months, and then we'd make a couple more moves. We had an ongoing chess game.
Very cool.
I love chess, but Apples to Apples is more fun to play, and anybody can play it, you know, and it's the kids' version of Cards Against Humanity.
Yes, exactly. And chess, one of those games, like, and I have no problem with the 2-player game because sometimes it's just you and somebody else playing. But yeah, and chess is one of those games too where, like, I enjoyed checkers better than chess, but it sounds childish. It's basically saying, people that say, oh, I like Jeopardy more than Wheel of Fortune. It's like, no, you don't. Wheel of Fortune is more fun.
I'm smarter than that.
That's just it. Like, the people that, and dude, but I love chess. I love the strategy of it. There was a buddy of mine that had one that was like and it was legit, like it was carved out Star Wars characters. It probably had to be like $100. It was the coolest thing. And we played. I was like, that's the best part about chess, is if you get a game. The best part about chess is having a game like that where you've got like specific carved out piece, like a Star Wars chess, and then just have it as a centerpiece or a part of your decor. That's the coolest part about chess. Because
we did have this Star Wars one, but the kids, when we got it, I think we got it when Aiden was young.
Okay.
So he would just use them as action figures, and just lost all of them along the way.
Right.
And now it's like, I wish I still had that.
Exactly. So, all right. And then Yahtzees and Cones of Dunshire, the real live Cones of Dunshire, Settlers of Catan. I have never played it. Yahtzee is a great game. I love dice game. It's just a fun game because you can play 2 or 3 games pretty quick. Plus, it's the only game that you just yell Yahtzee, and that may be the best name of any of the board games.
Yep, and I still yell Yahtzee all the time when I'm at work and I can't find a package. I'm searching the truck, and then you finally find it. I'm just like, Yahtzee. Exactly.
So so it's like it's part of the lexicon of the world, just saying Yahtzee on things. All right, moving on to the bottom bracket. Categories, number 1 seed against Mancala. Checkers Connect 4, a checker off. Life, Shoots and Ladders, Guess Who, and Boggle, which it probably boggles some people's minds that Boggle made it, but I have my reasons behind it. So Categories was funny. I was talking to the boys. They sit behind us at church, and before church started, I knew Emily's going to come up with us. I was dropping Noah off at his girlfriend's house. So I told Liam, I was like, hey, you can come to the studio and you can talk board games with us. And he's like, no, it's all right. And then he's like, Categories better be high up on the list. I'm like, oh, it's a number 1 seed. Categories is a great game. It's a great game because it's many. You can play it with 2, 3, 4. You can play it with as many people as you want. It's fun. There's a little bit of thinking involved in it too. So I love Categories very much. And then Mancala, if you don't know Mancala, it's a little like marble game. You got the little holes and you just move them around. It's a pretty fun game. Emily and I play that a lot too. But it's no Categories.
Argument in a box wins this.
Exactly. Argument in a box. I believe that's a Brian Regan reference too, isn't it? Or is that just...
it may be. I don't think I coined it, but I know that's what it turns into.
I think it's a Brian Regan reference. I'll have to check in on that. So yeah, Categories, it's just great. Checkers Connect 4. Yes, I did do this so we could have a checker off because you use checkers in both. Checkers, again, the simpler man's chess. Connect 4. It's a little bit more involved than checkers, but you still have to think. So I do like both these games. Like if you threw out, hey, let's play checkers, hey, let's play Connect 4. I'm like, all right, because they're both games you could just set up and then just play. So do you have a leaning this way? It's at 8-9.
I initially was leaning Connect 4, but I might have to go checkers. There's nothing better than when you get to go king me, and then you can just I'm moving all over this board and I'm taking you down.
Exactly. You get a king, you get a double jump, or dare I say a triple jump. And checkers is just a classic. It is a classic game. It's fun. It's a good time. I do like Connect 4. Emily and I surprised played Connect 4 the other day, and I just found out there's 2 other different kind of rules you can play. You can play, yeah. Well, the new one that we have, because there's the sliding thing on the bottom where you can pop out the bottom checkers. So there's a pop 10 where you can pop yours out, and if it was part of a Connect 4, you keep it, and the first one to get 10 checkers wins. And then there's another one that was like the other one is called like pop out, where you can either on your play you can either put a checker in or you can pop one of yours out. So they were all right. I just prefer the regular Connect 4, but I am with you. Checkers is better. All right, Life, Shoots and Ladders. Shoots and Ladders is another kids game where once you don't have kids, you are probably never playing Shoots and Ladders again until you have grandkids. It is probably my least favorite of the kids' games.
Yeah, I'll play it if one of the kids wants to play, but I'd rather play a Candyland or something like that.
No, yeah, I'd rather play Candyland, play Sorry. And I prefer Life. Life's a fun game. We have the newer version of it, which is it's pretty much the same, but just like instead of having the little Life card things you get, there's cards and you can do stuff with it. But yeah, Life is going to win this one pretty handily. And then the last one in this top section before we finish out the first round, Guess Who and Boggle. So Boggle is fun. I like Boggle. If I'm going to play a word game, it's going to be a Boggle game because that's the one you just shake it up. I think it was a 5x5 or a 4x4, all the letters, and then you just try to get as many words as you can of what letters are out there. I love those games. There was when John was little, there was a series of stuffed animals that are called Webkins. And you could buy them, and then they had a website. This is back when, so John was probably 4 or 5, so it was the early 2000s. So the internet was still relatively new, and the Webkins had a website, and they had a game that was very similar to Boggle, where you had to with the word thing. I would sit there and play it on the Webkins thing, by myself, just the word find game, because I loved it in just that style. I can't find that one anymore. Guess Who's great. I gave you some Guess Who, some specific Guess Who characters for Christmas a couple years ago.
80s wrestler one gets played all the time still. What a great idea that was.
Doesn't really?
Mix it up and have different options, because once you played enough with the same people, you can just ask male or female, and you can knock out a good portion of it. You know who's left.
Glasses.
So to be able to change the people in there is crucial.
Yeah, the key is because I did a couple of them. Because you got the 80s wrestlers, and then did you get Psych or The Office?
I think it was The Office.
The Office. I gave Psych is one I have. Adam has that one. He has a Bob's Burgers one, and I think I did a Gravity Falls one that we have at the house. The problem with some of those is like Bob's Burgers, there's just not enough female characters. So if I'm doing that again, I'm going to use thicker paper because the paper is not the best. But you got to kind of really think about who you want to put in there, because with Guess Who, if you only have like 3 people with glasses and you happen to say that, then it eliminates it. So doing that, but I love Guess Who, even if it's the regular Guess Who.
Yeah.
It's fun having the different characters though. It does make it more interesting.
Yeah. We got a Star Wars one,
Oh, nice.
Again,
yeah.
It's like, are you a droid?
Are you a droid?
Yes,
Exactly.
there's only 4 on here. Okay.
Right. Right. Can we understand your native language? No. You might be a Wookiee. Yes. All right. So the last section here, Risk as a 3 seed against Jenga, Trivia Pursuit against Perfection, Battleship Pictionary, Clue, Mousetrap. This is probably the strongest section, I think, maybe of all of them. Like all those games are like, if you just said any of those games except for maybe one, I'd be like, sign me up. And even the one that I'm thinking I would play it the one time because it's been a minute and it's kind of fun to set up. So Risk, Jenga. I'm gonna show my hand here. I think of the games on this list, Risk is my favorite.
World domination. How is it not?
It is world domination. You got the guys on the horse, you got the cannons, you got your soldiers, you learn geography while you're at it, which I saw somebody with all the Greenland talk and Venezuela's talk, like people are getting mad that we're trying to want to be strategic there. And someone's like, it shows a lot of people did not play Risk growing up if they don't understand.
If they don't understand
the importance of Greenland and Venezuela. Not to get political here, but I just thought it was funny because Risk is like that. And I know where some places are because of Risk playing as a kid. Yeah. So Jenga is one of those games. I think it sounds more fun to play before you play it. And then it's fun the first time you play it. Then you're like, oh, I got to set this up again. Because it's kind of a pain to set up because you have to do the 3, move around. And if you don't, you got it set. Again, I have no problem with Jenga, but it pretty much after the second play, you're like, this could be used in the fireplace.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Jenga fan. Risk is going into this.
Yeah, Risk is phenomenal. So Trivia Pursuit Perfection. So I remember, we got 2 classics that really kind of got the board game like craze going again. Trivia Pursuit and then Pictionary. I remember Trivia Pursuit came out. It was like it was like sliced bread. Like everyone had it and you played it because it was like another Smarty game. You get like the different categories. And then they had a junior one, which I prefer playing because I'm not super smart. I just like, give me the sports category. And that was it. So Trivia Pursuit was fun. It was new. It was such a different game than a lot of the games that we had. And it's still fun to play. But the problem with Trivia Pursuit is if you play it long enough, you kind of like, you can know the cards. And the other thing, the greatest thing about Trivia Pursuit, it was in a Seinfeld episode with the Bubble Boy, and it made our theme song.
Right.
The Moops. So perfection as a kid. This is a game. I love this game because I love like to try the speed games, see how fast you can do it. But it was so nerve-wracking because you're doing it and you just know, and you know it's coming. And every time it stopped, it all popped up. You get that jump scare.
It's a jump scare every time.
Yeah. This is a tough one for me because I really don't care. I'm thinking though, I'm going to go Perfection because Perfection is one of those few games where if I just want to play a game and I'm by myself, you can play Perfection. That's the only way you can play is by yourself.
Right. Well, we have one where it's 2-man.
Oh, okay.
It's not called Perfection. I think it's called Scramble or something.
Okay.
So it's head to head.
So I got you. So and then
you're trying to beat the other guy.
And so there's no timer. So there's no timer. It's just whoever gets it first, and then
you push him down and you both have the same amount of time. So you want to try and beat the other guy or at least get more, but yeah,
Okay. I know.
He's like,
Waking up in a cold sweat with that in your dreams.
where's the half circle? Where's the half
Exactly.
circle?
Exactly. Do you have a lean either way?
I'm going perfection. The Trivial Pursuit is fun, but I liked it when they started making it like all sports one or pop culture one, because
those are the more fun
I forget
ones.
which one it was, but I think every time I played Trivial Pursuit, I never could get the orange.
Yeah, whatever. There's
I
think it's like the history literature. Like it's all the categories that my wife is good at. I'm like, I don't know. But no, like the pop culture ones, if it's like a Harry Potter or Star, those are the most fun. I could play those all the time. But then again, you have to have people that are big fans of that, because then it's like if someone's not a Harry Potter fan, they are not going to do well on it. So perfection moves on. Battleship, Pictionary. Pictionary was in that same thing as well. They ended up doing the Win, Lose, or Draw TV show. Yes. I think that came after Pictionary. I think Pictionary came out, and then they decided, let's do a game show. I think it was
so big, they're like, oh, we can make this a game show.
Exactly. So
that nobody knows how to draw.
Exactly. So Pictionary is fun. It's just a cool concept of a game. It's more of a party game, really, than anything else. And then Battleship is just that classic, trying to, just the whole thing of it. Like, and you could do a spoof of it, like with the dark music, like B2, and then you could have like a big pause, miss, and then hit ding. So I'm leaning Battleship, because like we just grew up with Battleship, playing it, and Pictionary came in, it was fun, but again, that's more of a party game. I would rather just play Battleship.
Yeah, if it weren't for Pictionary, we would not have Baby Fish Mouth. Can we just get that out there?
Exactly. So I'm
going with Battleship, and Battleship is always, if you want to be that guy, is the easiest to cheat in.
It is.
Just back, no, that's a miss.
There's a miss. Yeah, exactly. Now I'll tell you what. Another thing that gives Battleship the edge: there's no electronic Pictionary.
No.
Electronic Battleship. Remember, Electronic Battleship came out. That was like the greatest. It was like,
are we in the future?
We'll be having flying cars in no time. So, and then the last one, Clue, Mousetrap. Clue is probably probably of the top 3 seeds. Clue is probably the weakest, but I think it's one of those that people know it. They had the movie. It's fun to play. Obviously, Emily and I will play it. It's not as fun with 2 players. Having more players is more fun. Mousetrap is one of those games where the setup of Mousetrap takes forever. And then if something happens and the thing drops before it needs to, you gotta set it back up again. So it's fun to set it up and like get it to be like, okay, then do it the one time. It's fun. But I would take Clue over this. It's just, I think the whole idea of Clue is pretty fun. If you get 3 people to play, it's a cool time.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played Mousetrap the real way. I think I would just get the board out, set everything up, and just see if I can make it work, and then just be like, all right, I'm putting it back.
Yeah, that's how we did it, because it was one of those things where I think I don't even know the real rules of Mousetrap.
I don't remember. I know, yeah. You would have to do the dice. Finally get it set up.
Yeah, because you didn't set it all up at once. It was just different things, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Let's just do this as a kid. So, all right, we've got Clue, Battleship, Risk, Perfection as the 11 seed, I do believe. It did beat out Trivia Pursuit. Yes. We've got my computer's not working there. Guess Who and Life at a 4-5, Checkers categories, Yahtzee, Apples to Apples, Balderdash, Candyland, Stratego, Sorry, Monopoly, Mastermind. So the 11 seed of Perfection is the only upset of the round. Unless there was an 8-9, but I don't think it was. So let's go Monopoly, Mastermind. Here's my thing with Monopoly. Monopoly is fun. Even the different versions, like I think we have a Star Wars one, we have a Doctor Who one, and then we also have a Phantom Menace. Like it was like the Phantom Menace did one, and that one's cool because it's like you've got your cards you can slide into a slot. You've got a little like more of a pit to roll the die. It's pretty cool. I found it at the thrift store, and I remember when I bought it, because like when you go thrift storing, when you go thrifting, when you pop in tags, as the kids said back in the day, when Macklemore was actually like popular for a minute. I sat in the thrift store floor making sure every single piece is there before I before I spent $6. Like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna make sure it's all there, and it was, and we still have it. And it's kind of fun to play because it's a cooler looking thing. Here's the thing with Monopoly, it can take forever, and if you don't finish it in one sitting, then you're like either have to take a picture of it. But back in the day, we didn't have like the camera phones. And if we took a picture of it, we'd have to go get it developed, and it took like a week. So you would have to just leave it out or write everything down. That's the one downfall, I think, of Monopoly. But I think it still beats Mastermind, but I have no problem if Mastermind wins.
Yeah, I mean, Mastermind's one of those you can play probably 200 times in the time it takes to. Last time I played Monopoly probably a few years ago. We were on vacation with our friends, the Fetchers, and it was me and the kids mainly. I think we played a couple hours each day. I think it took us 3 days to finally, 3 days out of the vacation. We didn't play full days. It was like an hour or two each day. But right. Yeah, it does take longer. If you play it correctly, it does take forever. But I think it still beats Mastermind.
I think it does too. Did you know, like how long have we've been playing Monopoly most of our lives? I did not realize, because again, you don't almost always read the directions, and then you kind of just do whatever, and you kind of learn whatever your parents have done or whoever taught your aunts and uncles. You just learn those rules, and then you never go back and read them. Did you know the actual way to play is, because we always played, let's say I'm going and then I land on, Indiana Avenue. I get the first chance to buy it. If I don't, we just played, then you just keep going and move on. The real rules are, if I don't buy it, then it goes to a bidding war.
Yeah, it goes up to auction.
Yeah, which makes sense, and that makes the game go quicker. If you play that way, an auction way, because then once everyone lands on something, all the properties are sold.
Gets bought up. Yeah, a lot quicker.
It goes a lot quicker. So yeah, so I do, like I said, but I think Monopoly is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. It is. And then I think Monopoly is one of the games here that if you win, you just feel so good. Like you win, sorry, like it was just the luck of the cards. Like Monopoly, like you won Monopoly, you got people that are not going to sleep well at night because you beat them, and it just
it's bragging rights for days.
It is, and you'll talk about it. Like, remember that time I beat you at Monopoly back in '92? I had $7. I had $7, and I won free parking, baby.
Shout out me Monopoly. No, you are one pathetic loser.
Shout out to a neighbor from Valparaiso, Dave Miller. I think it was Dave Miller. It was down the street. It was 2 houses down from us, the Millers. So their one son was older. I remember we were playing, and I was probably like 8. He was probably like 10 or 11 or stuff. We were playing this. He was just killing me. And then he won free parking, and it was going to bury me. And then he said, he just like, this is all going to you. And he gave it to me so we can keep playing. So shout out to him for that. That's a core memory as a kid. I remember that. I was like, that's pretty good, buddy.
Classy move.
Classy move. So sorry, Stratego. It's Stratego for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like I said, I love Sorry. It's a fun game, but like some of these games, and we'll get to that here in a second, where I'm going to play, like if I was at your house and you said, hey, do you want to play Stratego? I would be like, absolutely.
Yes. If
you said Sorry, I'd probably still say, because it'd be fun, but like, I would not be as excited to play Sorry.
There's nothing better when you need to see somebody coming up and you're like, he's going to hit the bomb. He's going to
exactly. Like they're going towards it and they're like, you hit the bomb. And then he hits like bomb. And they're like 3. And you're like, no. So, all right. Candyland Boulder Dash. I think Candyland beats Boulder Dash this round, but this is what I want to say about Candyland. And I talked about it to the kids today. Candyland is one of those games where once you're done having kids and you don't have any grandkids, you will never play Candyland ever again. Because you just like, because it would be weird to go, like if you went to like your friends, you guys were at the lake house or whatever, and you're like, hey, it was just the adults. Like everyone's like, hey, let's play a game of Candyland. You would probably look at that friend like, how are we friends? Like that's not like You want to play?
Yeah, you're not doing an adult game night with sorry.
No, Candyland. The only time I think that would happen, the only time that happened is if everybody was so drunk and someone said, "Man, Candyland was so fun." Like, hey, we have it. Like, yeah, and then everyone's playing Candyland. So I think that's the only way that happens. But it's much better than Boulder Dash, for sure. And then Apples to Apples and Yahtzee. I like them both. I'm a huge fan of Yahtzee. There are some core memories of fake names used in Yahtzee that me and you and our brother have as dog tags, thanks to you as a Christmas gift one year. Yahtzee,
I still have them. I found them not too long ago.
I have mine. I think mine's hanging on the side of my bed with the two gold medals, first place thing I got in Upward on that. So.
No,
yeah.
I still have the Yahtzee pages. I got the triple Yahtzee back there, and I still have the old pages. I should bust them out because some of the names are fantastic.
They are fantastic. We would just do fake names, and it was great. And then Nate ended up making dog tags for all of us, and Dad I think had one too. So
yeah, we were the B team.
We were the B team. I do have a theme song for the B team, but that's one other show. And then Apples is fun, but I'm always going to go Yahtzee. I think.
I agree.
It's just a fun game here. All right. We're gonna have another. No, we still have the bottom half. So let's go to the bottom half now. All right, Emily's got to go to the bathroom, so I gotta take her to the bathroom, and I'll be right back. So we'll just take a break, and then I'll just mark that and make sure I send it to him.
I'll take a pee while we're at it.
Exactly. All right, so heading down to the last bracket of the Sweet 16, we do have categories, checkers, life, and guess who. So categories, checkers, I think it's pretty easy.
Yep.
Checkers, a classic, old school, but categories is so good.
It really is.
Even though you don't king anybody and everyone can argue. That's the thing about categories is so funny. It's because like it would seem to be like so simple. Like, yes, this word should count. But then it's like, well, I'm sure because it's probably how the whole hot dog a sandwich started. Is someone probably trying to do hot dog as an H sandwich because like everyone's gonna put ham, and then they're like hot dog's a sandwich is on a bun. That's probably how it
between
started.
2 pieces of bread.
Exactly. So I'm sure that's how it happened. And I'm telling you, there's nothing better in categories than when you get like a double score. Like, you know, it was always I always remember this how old we are. We'd play it and it'd be like an athlete. And I used to always do Lewis Lips with his L.
Nobody's put Lewis Lips.
No, if you there's a cheat code. If you have L and it's athlete, do Lewis Lips. No one else is going to do it. Lewis Lips isn't even going to do it because if he's playing, he's thinking, "I'm going to put Lewis Lips." So
yeah.
And then life and guess who is a good one. I don't know where I want to go here because I think it can go either way as a classic 4-5. Do you have a lean like yes, this is how I go?
I'll probably lean life just because unless you have the different versions of Guess Who, you start knowing the characters right away, and within a couple of guesses, everybody knows. You can get it eliminated, and it ceases to be fun once you can start doing that. In life, you know, nothing better than having to teach an 8-year-old, hey, do you want to go to college, or you just want to start working? You gonna have
Exactly.
kids or not? You
Life
make that
lessons,
decision now.
Retirement early, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think I am going life. And guess who could be fun if you said you cannot use like male, female, boy, girl, like you can't now. I had a woke comment there, but I'm not gonna. How do they play?
I don't know. I don't know how Denise identifies.
I don't know. Have you ever seen something? Have you seen that? It's like they're on like YouTube or TikTok, and they're playing guessing. Two guys like, and they try to like just be as specific for the one guy. Like, is your guy look like he would rob a convenience store? And then they show the picture of the guy, and he's like, yes. And it's so spot on. It's so funny on that. So, all right, risk, perfection. You know me, I'm going risk.
World domination, baby.
Yeah, and I don't think he's even close on that one. Like perfection, perfection is probably one you can't even use. Battleship and Clues. This is one of those. This I think is a weird one because I think this is another one where like they're both good games. I liked them both growing up. I think I'm gonna go Clue.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Clue as well. Battleship is not as fun when you start doing it as you think because you're just. All right, L7, or, you know,
right? Yeah, it's really not. And Clue's the best to be like just to say Colonel Mustard in the study with the candlestick.
The candlestick.
The only problem
has anybody actually killed someone with a candlestick?
I don't know. I may have. Who knows? The only problem with Clue, we have that with ours is if you get a card that gets like Professor Plum is crumbled, so you just know
automatically now.
So now you have to kind of like get a third party to come in, but then if you don't have like it's once the cards get or if you lose a card and stuff, and then like all right, the magnifying glass, the one rules card is now Miss Scarlet. So they don't
right.
So all right, so Elite 8, Risk, Clue, 2-3 seeds. Categories life, a 1-4. Candyland Yahtzee, 2-3. Monopoly Stratego, a 1-5 in the Elite 8. Monopoly Stratego. It probably should be Monopoly. I am going Stratego.
I'm gonna go Monopoly.
All right.
Love Stratego.
All right. So we discussed off camera, on camera. But Tim will make a nice transition there that we're going to try to figure out like what to do. So I think we're going to do rock, scissors, paper to try to figure out who wins Monopoly Stratego. And for the sake of the show, one win. It's not the best of three. It's just right. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go. It's a crush. Stratego wins. And you know why? You know why I went rock? Because I thought you were going to go. I screwed up because I did my scissors. Like, oh, he'd think I'm going to go scissors when I did it to you before. And then I should have went
subliminal messaging.
I should have went paper. I went opposite. So Stratego wins due to the rock, scissors, paper. All right. Candyland Yahtzee. Again, I think it's Yahtzee because Yahtzee will play. I will play Yahtzee by myself.
Yeah.
Like I have done that before.
I have done that before.
Like just like Yahtzee. And Yahtzee's I had it for a minute. Like Yahtzee app on their phone is fun too. Just like do it and like stuff. So I like Yahtzee. Yahtzee's gonna win. Candyland is the GOAT of the kids games though.
It is.
So shout out for that. Made the Elite Eight. So Stratego Yahtzee in a Final Four matchup. That'll be fun. So number one got knocked out. Can life upset categories?
It cannot.
It does not. Categories is so good. Like I enjoy playing it. I don't get to play it as much, but our kids are old enough now where it's fun to like play with like Liam and Noah and that kind of stuff. And they that kind of, it's fun. And so it's just fun. It's a fun game.
It is a fun game.
Yeah. And then Risk Clue. I'm going Risk.
Yep.
All right. So you got the 1-2 Risk categories, and then you've got the 5-2 Stratego Yahtzee. As much as I love Stratego, I think it's Yahtzee.
It is Yahtzee.
Yeah, Yahtzee is just so fun. The only problem is like if you run out of scorecards, but we have the interwebs now, number one, and you could probably print off your own, and then also you can just buy new ones.
The worst is when you filled up everything and you get to the 3 of a kinds and it's just like I got 3 1s. I'm gonna have to burn my 3 of a kind on a 3 1s.
Exactly. So that's the strategy. The worst is when you're like, do I use the chance on my third turn, or do I just like go 0? The 0 on the 1s is always the play.
Yes.
Like, don't do the 1s. Like if you get 2 1s, like you might as well just do is like the 1s are just like crazy. Just take the 0 on the 1s. So Yahtzee is in the finals. This one's going to be tough for me. It's categories and Risk. I said at the beginning, Risk is my favorite. Although like categories is so good. I'm not going to be mad either way. Do you have one like, yes, this is the better game?
I think Risk is really fun, and I do love it. But I think categories is one of those you could say categories to anybody at any time. Like we can just get a quick round in. You get 3 rounds. It's what, a 3-minute timer. You can, less than 20 minutes. You can bust a game out, and it's fun to argue about the stuff. It's a quick play. It's fun unless you get like the W.
Exactly.
You get one of those, and it's like, oh man. But no, I'm going categories.
Okay. I think I've got to be true to who I am when I talked about Monopoly, because you talk about games that can take a long time. Just go watch the Seinfeld episode when Kramer and Newman were playing Risk, and they had to put the board in Jerry's house, his apartment, because, he had to be Switzerland. I think I have to go categories for that reason. Plus, like you said, you can just go, hey, let's play categories, and you're playing, you're hearing the timer within 5 minutes. Risk takes a bit to get set up because you got to pick your color and then you got to get your cards dealt out. You got to do that. And like I said, I love Risk, but categories is the right call in this one. As much as it pains me, categories is. So we got categories and Yahtzee. I'll tell you what, if you had a game night and you just had categories and Yahtzee, you are going to have yourself a good time.
You are.
Yeah. Do you have like a lean this way? I thought maybe there could have been like some more, but we still have a 1-2 in the finals. I kind of am leaning like Yahtzee has such a great core memory growing up because we did not have categories when we were kids. However, I think categories categories may be the perfect game.
I think it is because with Yahtzee, it's just whoever most points wins, but there's no arguing if what the points are.
Right. You can't. That's not a three of a kind. There's three of them right there.
Yeah, that is half the fun. Is the argument in a box,
isn't it though?
And there's still stuff we talk about to this day that we make reference. Like, no, you thought you could use this as things at a beach.
Yeah. Hot dog. No.
you can eat a hot dog at the beach.
So I think the thing with it too with categories is Yahtzee is so there's not really strategy. You don't have to think like you really just the only thinking is do I take this as a three of a kind because it's the fives and the three of a kind is gonna be higher, or do I take my 3 5s so I can get the bonus up? But there's no real thinking. It's just more luck. Yeah. It's categories. You're thinking and you're trying to, and I'm always because it's not just trying to get the word with the same letter, but you have to try to get one that's not and no one else is going to do, which is the beauty of the game. Because there's sometimes it's like if you have like a W and then you're really trying, especially if it's like states, like U.S. states, and you get a W, okay, we have like Wyoming. You're thinking of like the few that you could have, and it's like, okay. And then sometimes you outthink yourself because then if everyone zigs because they think this is the obvious one, and then you take the obvious one, it's it. And then I spend way too much time trying to find a double word on stuff. Right. It's like if I just would have taken the one word, I could have filled out the last two. And there's always those one categories that are just like, oh, this is the worst. Like I can't think of anything.
Well, and the worst is when you just have a brain fart because you got the timer, so you're like, all right, I'll come back to this. And then you come around, it's like, I couldn't think anything for this. And the three people say three different things. It's like, how did I not think of any of those? I'm a moron.
I can't believe I couldn't think of red as a color that began with R.
It's escaping me.
It is. So categories wins. Another number one seed wins it. So that was a fun one because it's just board games. We think about some of the stuff growing up that we did. I do want to do a shout out. Is there a game that like you love that just was not going to be popular for this list that you guys love playing, just you as your family or your friends that you just knew was not going to make the list?
Yeah, we got this game, I think, before we even had kids. I don't know if somebody gave it to us as a gift or how it happened. It's called Express Yourself. If you can find it, go get it. Because there's the little machine, and it keeps track of all the points for you. It goes around, asks who's got each color chip, and then you take turns. Like green, you're going to red, and so you either have to act, draw, or speak without using the word. And so, and it keeps track of the points for you. It's super fun. It's, there's some words like there's a word on each side of the card. And so you're always like, you put it in and sometimes we'll be like, why don't you try the other word on this card? And it's like, no, how am I going to draw raisin bread? So the game can kind of goose you too. It's like, no, that's not the word I wanted. So it is a really fun game and it does all the work for you. You don't have to keep track of the points or anything. So Express Yourself. Get it.
That is cool. All right. Mine, and this is just more as a self brag. So we had a game and you can still buy it at Walmart. It was called Rubik's Race because Rubik's Cubes are huge. And there's a game called Rubik's Race, where it's very much like the perfection game you're talking about, where you had two people across from each other. And it was very similar to like a battleship board where you had the Rubik's colors, the different colored cubes on each side. You had a divider in the middle, but that had like a square cut out. And you would shake the bubble thing, and it would give you this 9 color scheme. And then you had to, and there's one open spot. And you'd have to move the colors to try to match that, and the other person would try to match it, and then you would just pull the thing down, and it would have to match, and you'd win. And it was kind of cool because I always loved that little handheld game of the different picture. And I remember I played that, and I was so good. I was Lamar Ball, never lost. I never lost. And then my buddy Dave, who I've been friends with since 8th grade, so it's been 30, like it's been 40 years. It has been 40 years. Dave and I have been friends. It'll be, I think, 40 years this year. Maybe. So anyway, we were talking about that one time on the landline. And so he was like, oh yeah, Rubik's Race. Like he goes, his older sister, Betsy, he's like, yeah, she's really good at it. She never lost. Like I would probably destroy her. He was like, no, you can't. Like she's so good at it. I was like, okay, next time I'm over playing. So then they had it. And then Betsy and I played. And I've never seen Betsy more mad in my entire life because I beat her every single time. And it was like super. I was like, boom, boom, boom. And there was one that I just barely got it before her. And it was great. And Dave to this day is like, you are the greatest Rubik's Race player in the history of the game.
Ever lived.
So I love that. I love that game because I love the little handheld game that you would just have the one spot open. You just move the tiles and stuff. So that was a good game. You can still get that. So Nate, always good talking to you. Next week, we are doing Muppets. It's going to be fun to do a Muppets one. We love the Muppets. So we'll have Reimer on. Reimer's already given me information to do. So it should be a good 20 minutes of college hoops next week. So tune in for that. Again, follow us on X at Chad Ochorinco, at Nate Lifters 23. Go to fanstreamsports.com. Nate?
Real quick, while we were playing this, I thought of a great idea for a game that we might want to capitalize on.
Okay.
Balderdash, but it's for words in the Urban Dictionary.
Okay. So
it's a great adult game.
Balderdash.
Yes. Tallahassee Night Train. What's the definition? Go. Look it up. It's not what you think it's going to be.
There you go. That could be fun. That could be a very fun, the urban balderdash. So we could do that, and then we won't even need Ego. We would just have the urban balderdash money flowing in. So again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.